¿Qué pasa, gente de YouTube y de todos sus alrededores? Vamos a seguir leyendo. ¿Dónde nos quedamos? Fue en el book 2. Eso que ni qué. Si recuerdo haber llegado hasta aquí. Y... ¿será aquí? No recuerdo. ¿Dónde nos quedaríamos? Book 3. El libro 3. Entonces, so. We ought to consider not only that our life is daily wasting away, and a smaller part of it is left, but another thing also must be taken into the account, that if a man should live longer, it is quite uncertain whether the understanding will still continue sufficient for the comprehension of things, and retain the power of contemplation which strives to acquire the knowledge of the divine and the human. For if he shall begin to fall into dotage. What is dotage, by the way? What is dotage? Dotage. Dotage. Oh, the period of life in which a person is old and weak. Choches. En español es choches. Okay. Dotage, perspiration, and nutrition, and imagination, and appetite, and whether else there is of the kind, will not fail, but the power of making use of ourselves, filling up the measure of our duty, of our duty es como, según yo es como tarea, ¿no? O deber, servicio, okay. Okay. Duty. Will not. Okay. Duty. Filling up the measure of our duty, clearly separating all appearances and considering whether a man should now depart from life, and and whatever else of the kind absolutely requires a disciplined reason. The disciplined reason. This is already distinguished. No mistake. Has them. Has them. I don't know. Has them. Never seen that word, bro. That's just excessive speed or urgency, movement or action. Deprisa, haste. Okay, haste. I think I've heard it before. Haste. Hmm. Not only because we are daily nearer to death, but also because the conception of things and the understanding of them cease first. We ought ought we ought to observe that even the things which follow after the things which are produced according to nature certain contain something pleasing and attractive. For instance, when bread is baked, some parts are split at the surface, and these parts, which thus open and have a certain fashion contrary to the purpose of the baker's art, are beautiful in a manner and in a peculiar way excite a desire for eating. And again, figs, when they're quite ripe, open, and in the ripe olives are olives olives the very circumstance of their being near to rottenness adds adds a peculiar beauty to the fruit, and the ears of corn burning down, bending down, and the lion's eyebrows, and the foam which flows from the mouth of wild boars, and many other things which they are far from being beautiful, if a man should examine them severely, still because they are cons- consequent upon the things which are formed by nature, help to adorn them, and they please the mind, so that if a man should have feeling and deeper insight with respect to those things which are produced in the universe, there is hardly one of those which follow by way of consequence which will not seem to him to be in a manner disposed so as to give pleasure, and so he will even see the real gaping jaws of wild beasts with no less pleasure, those which painters and sculptors show by imitations, and in an old woman and an old man he will be able to see a certain maturity and comeliness. What the actual this book kind of makes me have a headache, bro. It's so deep and intricate at the same time. Sorry, intricate. What is that word from? What does that word? What does that word come from, bro? Hmm. What I was saying is gaping maturity or comeliness and the attractive loveliness of young persons. He will be able to look on with chaste eyes, and many such things will present themselves, not pleasing to every man, but to him only who has become truly familiar with nature and her works. Hypocrites, after hearing many diseases, fell himself and died. Hippocrates, Hippocrates, after curing many diseases, himself fell sick and died. Then the shall die foretold the deaths of many, and then fate caught them too. Alexander and Pompeius and Caius Caesar, after so often completely destroying whole cities and in battle cut into pieces many 10,000s of cavalry and infantry themselves, to at last departed from life. Heraclius, after so many speculations on the conflagration of the universe, was filled with water internally and died, smeared all over them with mud. And Alice destroyed Democritus, Democritus and other lies killed Socrates. One means all this. Thou hast embarked, thou hast made the voyage, thou art come to shore. Get out. If indeed to another life there is no want of gods, not even there, but if to state without sensation, thou wilt cease to be held by pains and pleasure, and to be a slave to the vessel which is much inferior as to that which serves it is superior, for one is intelligence and deity. Deity es como deidad, una deidad, ¿no? Deity. Deity, no, ¿cómo se dice? Deity. Deity. Okay, deity. The other is earth and corruption. Deity. 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 Okay, do not waste the remainder of thy life. Bueno, creo que aquí le dejamos, hermano. Ya fue bastante. Hasta la próxima.